So a few weeks ago, I made this video looking at my cringy OCs. I just discovered that I have a story that I posted on fanfiction.net on July 11th, 2010, a fanfiction that has a lot of those same cringy OCs in it. Very creatively titled Robin. It's only 2 chapters long. Coming up on a few months is going to be the official 10-year anniversary, so I thought I could read it here with you and then maybe keep it going, maybe even finish it, hopefully by July. As Tim Drake still mourns the loss of his friend Khan, that's Superboy, he meets 3 new villains, one of them being a demon sent to Earth to begin the apocalypse. With the help of Dick Grayson Nightwing, Tim will make sure that Gotham stays safe. I do not own Batman. I'm very excited to jump into this. Chapter 1. Prologue. The rain poured down as the couple ran through the alley. The girl would slow down every once in a while, but he would just pull her along with him. They were both wearing vast amounts of black. A bird-like shadow followed them as they ran. She tripped. He jerked her along. She regained herself. A happy couple, they soon came to a dead end and frantically asked themselves what to do. The girl stared at a wall. A small spark of swirling purple mist appeared within her palms, and right as she was about to throw these bursts of purple blasts at the wall, a sharp metallic object came crashing into her right hand, cracking the bone. The bird that followed them was forced out of hiding. He jumped high into the air, only to extend his wings and gracefully fly down in front of the couple. I really couldn't tell you why I keep capitalizing couple. The creature looked up to reveal he was not a bird, but a man. The man wore a black rubber suit with a blue hawk-like symbol running across the chest, its wings flowing down his masculine arms. His face was covered with a large black mask that showed only 2 white eyes glaring at the two. His hair was messy and black as night, with a few strands of hair dangling in front of his face, and he held a small shoulder ba, carrying something unknown to the couple. He took a step towards them. "Clear the path," shouted the boy in an rough English accent. The girl was quick to obey. She attempted to summon her powers, only to realize that it put her right hand into a sharp, jeering pain. She used her left hand to throw many miniature blasts of power into the wall facing her. After 7 or 8 throws, the wall finally collapsed. The boy held her off the entire time, firing more and more blasts at the bird. The man finally got close enough to the boy to knock him down. He then pulled out of the bag a rustic old book that brought terror into the eyes of the couple. The man flipped to the bookmarked page, the couple each shooting at him the whole time. The man dodged each of their bolts as he read. Deja de cumbra, Pedroca, Clarion, Mens, no Sabellus. The boy's face was filled with shock and the girl began a series of tears streaking down her face. The book thrashed within the birdman's hands, forcing him to throw it down. I don't know why I'm trying to play coy about this being Nightwing. It thrashed for a while before opening due to the force of a bright swirling light. The boy made a dash for the girl, obviously intending to use her as some sort of sacrifice to the book, but it was too late. The boy was dragged along the ground by a force coming from the pages of the powerful book. The girl extended a hand to rescue him. It was of no help, but he held on to her anyways. She began to tug on her arm, trying to get free of his iron grip, but it was no use. She struggled against him, and his body began to go deeper and deeper into the pages of the book. And only when he was over halfway through, she kicked him off, sending him into the dark pits of the book. "I'm sorry," she murmured while holding the book, her tears creating a small puddle in the alley. The man allowed her to stay this way for a total of 3 minutes. Before snatching the book from her, he handcuffed her to a fairly sturdy pole and then disappeared into the night. The police arrived shortly afterwards, stepping out of the car with a spring in their step. "Well, what do we got here?" said the arrogant cop, strolling around the girl. "Past your bedtime, ain't it, cutie? What are you in for? Listening to your music too loud, eh, squirt? Aw, look, Dan, we made the girlie sad." The girl snapped, Forgetting her right hand was injured, she fired a bolt at the cops, only to sharpen her pain, bust out of the handcuffs, and slaughter the two cops into tiny pieces of bloody skin and bones. She looked at them in horror, thinking about what she had done, only to realize she didn't give a crap. She looked off into the night sky, thinking of her lost boyfriend. She began to get teary again, then ran off once she heard the sound of more sirens. Hocus Pocus, the psychopathic nutjob, was roaming the streets once more. Okay, so if you didn't watch that video that I made, and because it's very long and you don't like my face or my voice, also if you're just my friend Alex who saw my last video and told me that he couldn't follow along because he doesn't know the Batman stuff. So this is my OC character, Hocus Pocus. She's basically Harley Quinn, but like a goth witch. She's the girlfriend of this like C-grade DC Comics villain named Clarion the Witch Boy, because I thought he was cute in that one episode of Batman that I saw. The Birdman is Nightwing. He's the original Robin, but then he grew up and he stopped being Robin, and now he's his own thing. Let's dive into Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Welcome Home, Master Timothy. Tim Drake finally was set free from his detention. Nobody dared leave their homes. Of course, there was always psychos and muggers and murderers out prowling the streets in Gotham. Everybody usually seemed a bit more on the stupid side during the chilly nights in Gotham City. Even his teacher, so we're just capitalizing anything. By the way, Alex, so Tim Drake is the current Robin. He's the new Robin, and he's also a teenager, and his name is Tim. What's wrong with everybody? Why won't they come outside? It doesn't really add up. He contradicted the reason why everybody was smart that night all the way up until he reached the corner of Henderson Street. If that ain't a sticky sentence. It was a few minutes before a small black limo pulled up next to him. There was a small old man sitting in the front seat. Sorry I'm late, Master Timothy. I got caught up in this afternoon's cleaning. It's okay, Alfred, Tim said with a slight grin. He opened the back door and stepped inside. The interior was lavish in every way. I was painted in a beautiful golden brown. The seats were of the finest black quality. And to Tim's left, there was a small mini bar with a small mini refrigerator. He opened it up and grabbed the first thing he touched. Water. The car ride home was very quiet. No man spoke a word. Dead silence. When they finally arrived, Tim smiled at Alfred as if to say, "Thanks, Al." Alfred smiled as he watched the boy run into the huge building known as Wayne Manor. Eager to finally have some fun that night, Tim jumped down on the couch to watch TV and was shocked to see a male news reporter stating the following story. At about 7 o'clock this night, Clarion the Witch Boy and Hocus Pocus were sighted robbing Twizzler's House of Voodoo. Nightwing apprehended Hocus and sent Clarion into a book. What he failed to do was make sure the police got Miss Pocus, for she escaped after murdering the two policemen. Okay, so there's a couple of things I'd like to unpack about this. He says, at about 7 o'clock this night. What time is it? Tim just got out of detention. Is Tim's detention last until like 10 p.m.? This reads like he's just making up news from the future. Also, just the banality of him being like, and Nightwing sent her into a book. 3, I find it funny that he refers to her as Miss Pocus and not like her actual name, which she does have. The camera panned out to reveal a woman just beside the man as they engaged in conversation. Obviously, this is a sign that Hocus is going to go on a rampage to avenge her lover. Her level of psychopathic intellect has proved that she will go to any lengths to avenge Clarion. She clearly states in her Arkham interrogation tapes that she believes in magic. Well, how else do you think she escaped Gotham or knocked down the wall in the alley? Or what about the vast eyewitness stories saying she appeared on a broomstick? The woman snorted. You can't honestly say you believe in magic, can you, Jack? This city is overrun by killer clowns, human-plant hybrids, and shape-shifting clay monsters. What makes you think that I won't believe in magic? I also love how these newscasters are debating over the existence of magic while Nightwing just put this bad guy in a book. But apparently they're both open to the possibility that he did that in like a non-magical way. Tim had turned off the television. He had heard enough. He started to get up when Alfred lightly put his hand on his shoulder. Master Bruce wanted to tell me that he would handle it. Tim looked at him questionably. Why? Alfred stuttered. He didn't say. It's about Khan, isn't it? He just thought you should get some rest, Master Timothy. After all, you've been quite tense ever since his... Alfred stopped right there. Yeah, I know. I'm fine, Tim said as he walked towards the library. But sir, I said I'm fine, Tim snapped back, shocking both Alfred and himself. I'm sorry, Al, it's just... And he ran off into the library. I'm sorry, Al, it's just... Alfred found him in the cave after he used the secret passage in the library. He was laying on the ground holding his suit, a red spandex outfit with a cape, a utility belt, and an R printed on the right side of his chest. Tim wasn't crying. He wasn't quivering or anything like that. He was just staring at his suit. He was thinking about Khan, his friend. He sat there for a good 10 minutes, dead silent. A bat flew across the room, followed by another and another and another, until the entire ceiling of the cave was incinerated with crazy flying bats. My job as Robin to keep this city safe, and just because somebody dear to me died, that doesn't mean I should stop caring about everybody else. Alfred nodded. Tim stood up. He slowly picked up his outfit and walked off to change. Oh, and one more thing, sir, Alfred began. What is it, Al? Master Bruce said that fellow he's been doing business deals with, Stephen Payne? Yes, that one. It appears that Mr. Payne has a daughter about your age, so you'll be meeting up with her during their meeting. Tim sighed. Why? If she's my age, can't she just stay at home by herself? Alfred put a hand on Tim's shoulder. He really likes doing that. Master Timothy, you haven't been associating with anybody your age since Master Khan's... Alfred stopped. Yeah. Death, Al. You can say it. Even if he was still alive. Remember what happened last time I made a friend. Miss Watson had her own decision, but I helped make her decision. Alfred remained quiet. You put her in danger, but it's still not to save her. What? I think I meant to put, but it's still not too late to save her. I just kind of forgot 3 or 4 words. He smiled and sat up. And that's all I have to say on the subject. Okay, Alfred, but can you say like just a little more? He was about to leave the Batcave when he heard a voice. Al! Tim shouted, watching Alfred turn around. Thanks. And then I never updated it ever again. Pudding Pop Cake comments, awesome! Continue! So this is gonna be for her. Okay, so here's the thing about this story. I do genuinely remember where it was supposed to go. In the description I put, he meets 3 new villains. I know that these villains are Hocus Pocus, Fashion Fatale, and the third one is this demon sent to Earth to begin the apocalypse. This was a very, very brief OC I had called Temptation. I did not mention her in the previous video because there's really nothing to go on except for just like a picture I drew where she's just a silhouette. She's a demon, she tempts people, she's like a femme fatale, and I totally based her off of that apple from VeggieTales. Clearly, this was when Tim Drake was mourning the death of his best friend, Connor Kent, Superboy. One of my favorite comics at the time was The Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. In it, Tim tries to resurrect Connor from the dead using the Lazarus Pit, and he has this big cool fight with Nightwing. Fun fact, I read this comic on a cruise. This was like over 10 years ago, and I remember I read it at the buffet. I had a big plate of desserts, and I looked down and I had somehow dropped some kind of weird sticky red substance on it. It's been over 10 years and I still cannot get it off. I mean, like, look at that. Can you see that right there? So we're gonna keep it set in the 2010 era. I plan to write it in a very 2010 Hagen style. So right off the bat, we have our work cut out for us. I really think that my failure to accrue a massive following, I really think that the reason I never gained a lot of popularity was because I put a lot of focus on my original works and original characters. So I think for this, I want to really focus on our non-original character, because that's what people are here for, right? People want to see Tim, they want to see Nightwing. So a lot of those documents that I read in the OC video, I think, honest, since they tie in, I'm just gonna use them as chapters later on. Let's stick in an author's note. We've been away for a little while, and I think I owe my fans an explanation. I'm so sorry I haven't updated in a little while. I couldn't use the internet because I was grounded. So there's no OCs in this chapter, it's just gonna be Tim. Tim jumped from building to building in his spandex Robin costume. There were some burglaries. We're just gonna not fix any spell problems on Smith Street, and he stopped them after a few hours of delivering roundhouse kicks and signature Robin moves. He took a little detour. Oh, Melina, what happened to you? He could see her now in his imagination. Is his imagination. How had such an innocent girl, wait, we have to capitalize random words, become such a harbinger of chaos and pain? Capitalize. Now Tim felt more depressed than he'd been all night. He reached up and pressed a small button on his mask. His ear devices filled with music. What was like a song that people listened to in 2010? Tim listened to Taylor Swift for a few minutes and contemplated getting a coffee. Boo! Nightwing? He asked. Haha, Nightwing said, laughing. Hey there, little dude. I don't know. Very funny, said Tim. I can't believe I really scared you. You didn't scare me, Tim replied. I don't know where this is going. I'm sorry. I know things have been rough for you. Maybe that wasn't the best move. Oh my god. Will everyone just get off my case about that? Tim erupted. Truth is, things have been rough for me. My best friend died, and my other friend died too, but in a different way. But everyone treating me like glass isn't making anything better. Please, I just want things to feel normal. Nightwing stared blankly. Okay. Will do. I'm sorry. That was probably weird. Nightwing, sensing the awkward tension, needed an out in order to make everyone feel more comfortable. By the way, he said, your earpiece frequency was jamming with mine. I didn't know you liked Taylor Swift. And Nightwing laughed once again. Ha ha. When he got done laughing, the two bird men looked down at Twizzlers. Dick told Tim, now they're kind of being closer, so I'm gonna refer to them as their alter ego names, about the awful crime Hocus and Clarion had committed. Why did you leave her alone? Tim demanded. Maybe she placed a spell on your mind. It is possible, but I felt fine. It's possible, Tim asked. I guess magic is real after all. Nightwing shrugged. In the past year, so much crazy stuff had happened. It was natural that the public was skeptical about the theory of magic. Even just tonight, a news lady had a whole segment where she explained that Nightwing putting Clarion into a book was all about physics and had no magic involved. Okay, I'm so glad we totally fixed that plot hole. Phew! At least we still have Clarion, Tim sighed. We do have Clarion, Nightwing said joyously. So there's one thing we don't have to worry about. Can you see where I'm going with this? Where is that book you put him in? Oh, the book? Oh, why yes, it's right here in my box. The one I have strapped on my, wait, my bag. It's empty. What? What's going on? It was right here. Tim brought his bird binoculars, I don't know, his eyes to scan for any clues. We have to find them. No! Sorry, I made it all caps, but I'm just gonna keep it. No! Nightwing said calmly. It's getting pretty late, and I know you have school tomorrow, so you go home. I'll track them down. There was no use arguing with Dick in the alley below. A face grinned up at the oblivious boy wonder. Her hand tightened on the rustic book between her hands. Okay, so let's go in and publish this. Oh, I forgot to add a chapter title. Chapter 3, Birds Will Be Birds. Also, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Priscilla Payne story thing and we're gonna make this our chapter 4. A pain in the behind. And okay, it looks like we've updated our fanfic. It's very late and I'm very tired. I think this is a good place to stop. We'll see what kind of feedback we get, and the next time we will improve, and hopefully we can get this story finished by July 11th. So thank you so much for joining me on this. I really want to go to bed now.